Have you ever felt a quiet discomfort growing inside you, like the life you are living no longer fits who you are becoming? Nothing looks wrong on the outside, yet something feels off on the inside. You may still go to the same places, talk to the same people, and follow the same routine, but deep down you feel disconnected. Things that once felt normal now feel heavy. Conversations that once felt easy now feel draining. You start to wonder why your heart no longer feels at peace where it once did. This feeling is not confusion, and it is not weakness. It is a sign that something within you is waking up. Spiritual awakening does not come loudly. It does not arrive with instant clarity or happiness. It begins with discomfort. It begins when your soul starts rejecting what no longer aligns with it. You may feel restless, emotional, or distant from the world around you. You may feel like you are changing, but you cannot fully explain how. This change is not random. It is growth. And as you grow, there are certain things you naturally stop tolerating, not because you think you are better than others, but because your inner world has changed. One of the first things you stop tolerating is negative and toxic people. There was a time when you stayed around them out of habit, guilt, or obligation. You listened to constant complaints. You accepted disrespect. You absorbed their stress and drama because you believed that was what loyalty looked like. But now, something inside you reacts differently. When you are around certain people, your body feels tense. Your energy feels drained. Their words stay in your mind long after the conversation ends. You realize that being around constant negativity feels like an attack on your peace. This does not make you heartless. In fact, you may feel more compassion than ever. You understand their pain, but you also understand your limits. You see that some people do not want to heal, grow, or take responsibility for their lives. They choose to stay stuck, and without meaning to, they pull others down with them. You stop trying to save them. You stop explaining yourself. You quietly step back. You choose peace over chaos, and for the first time, you do not feel guilty for it. Another thing you can no longer tolerate is inauthenticity. You begin to feel uncomfortable around fake smiles, forced conversations, and shallow interactions. You notice how often people hide their true feelings behind roles and masks. Before, you did the same. You said yes when you meant no. You laughed when you felt empty. You shaped yourself to fit into places where you did not belong. But now, pretending feels exhausting. Being someone you are not feels like betraying yourself. You start craving honesty even when it is uncomfortable. You want real conversations, real emotions, and real connections. Small talk feels empty. Performances feel draining. You can sense when someone is not being real, and it affects you deeply. This awareness turns inward as well. You begin questioning your own life. Where have you been dishonest with yourself? Where have you stayed silent to keep the peace? These realizations can be painful, but they are also freeing. You slowly learn that being real matters more than being liked. Living without purpose also becomes unbearable. At one point, survival was enough. You focus on getting through the day, paying bills, and meeting expectations. But now, that kind of life feels hollow. You may wake up feeling tired even after resting. You may feel unmotivated by things that once mattered to you. It is not laziness. It is your soul asking for meaning. You realize that simply existing is not enough anymore. Purpose does not always mean something big or dramatic. Sometimes it means living with intention. It means aligning your actions with your values. It means doing things that feel true to you, even in small ways. You start questioning your job, your relationships, and your habits. Anything that feels meaningless starts to bother you. You may feel lost for a while, but this phase is important. It is your inner world rearranging itself to make space for something more aligned. You also become deeply uncomfortable with manipulation and control. Before awakening, these things were easy to miss. Control often hides behind care, tradition, or expectation. You may have accepted guilt, pressure, or emotional control without realizing it. But now, you see it clearly. You feel it in your body when someone tries to shape your choices or silence your truth. Even subtle manipulation feels suffocating. This does not turn you into a rebel. It turns you into someone who values inner freedom. You stop living to meet other people's expectations. You stop shrinking to avoid conflict. You understand that real freedom is not about doing whatever you want. It is about being true to yourself. You start standing your ground, even when your voice shakes. And once you experience this inner freedom, you cannot go back to living under control that does not respect your soul. Low vibrational environments also become hard to tolerate. Certain places start feeling heavy the moment you enter them. Loud negativity, constant stress, anger, or chaos affect you deeply. Before, you ignored this feeling and pushed through it. Now, your body reacts instantly. You feel drained, irritated, or anxious without knowing why. These environments pull you out of balance. You begin seeking spaces that calm and restore you. Nature feels healing. Silence feels comforting. Simple, peaceful places feel safe. You become selective about where you go and who you spend time with. This is not avoidance. It is awareness. You realize that your surroundings shape your inner state. By choosing better environments, you protect your energy and support your growth. Perhaps the most powerful change of all is that you can no longer stay disconnected from yourself. Distractions stop working. Constant noise feels overwhelming. When you ignore your inner world, you feel empty. You begin craving time alone, not because you want to escape people, but because you want to reconnect with yourself. You listen to your thoughts. You notice your emotions. You become aware of your intuition. You start trusting yourself more than outside opinions. You learn to sit with silence. You learn to rest without guilt. You learn to check in with yourself before saying yes to anything. This connection becomes your anchor. When you lose it, you feel lost. When you protect it, everything else feels more balanced. You understand that no external success or relationship can replace inner alignment. As these changes happen, you may feel misunderstood. People may say you have changed, become distant, or become too sensitive. But you know the truth. You are not rejecting life. You are choosing it more consciously. You are not becoming cold. You are becoming honest. What you no longer tolerate is not wrong. It is simply no longer meant for you. If you see yourself in these changes, know that you are not alone. This path can feel lonely, but it is deeply meaningful. You are shedding old layers, old patterns, and old versions of yourself. What falls away was never aligned with who you truly are. Growth does not always feel good, but it always leads you closer to truth. And as you continue this journey, trust that everything leaving your life is making space for something that truly belongs.